First and foremost, Tucson will not lose DM in its entirety. However, it will lose pieces of it. 2,000 jobs will disappear, as will a large chunk of the $1.5 billion economic shot in the arm the base provides to Tucson every year. However, most importantly, and likely most damaging, Tucson will lose a sense of security the A-10 has provided to this community for 35 years.
Let's clear the area.
October 26, 1978. An A-7 military jet crashed in the street just a few feet from Mansfield Middle School and a few yards from the University of Arizona. 2 sisters were killed and a half a dozen people injured. The pilot ejected. It was the second multiple fatal military crash in the city in just a decade. In 1967, a jet fell into a supermarket on Alvernon Way, killing 4 people. These 2 accidents severely strained the relationship between DM and Tucson. In the 1978 crash, it was a prelude to the future. While the paramedics attended the injured on the ground, overhead circled a new military jet fighter, the A-10.
The first fight is to make the case to save the A-10, because it's the right thing to do for the country, and it also obviously is beneficial for our community.
Beneficial because for the past 30 years, the A-10 has been instrumental in soothing tensions caused by the 2 crashes. It's extremely safe, and it's also extremely quiet. Now, the whispers that the A-10 mission may be ended sooner than thought have become a roar and a reason for concern.
I think we have every reason to be concerned, but I'm still optimistic, and that's why we got to work very hard, and that's why I've continued to work very hard.
To keep DM open.
Absolutely, to keep DM open.
It's being fueled by much high-level speculation, such as Governor Jan Brewer, who asked for $5 million to study DM's future, hinting the A-10 mission may end in 2015. The head of the Air Force Air Command is on record as saying, "It is far worse for the nation if I have to keep the A-10." And still others.
The Air Force cannot touch the A-10 for all of 2014. In other words, we have bought a full calendar year.
The A-10 is potentially going to be cut starting in 2015.
When, not if, the A-10 goes, the F-35 is scheduled to replace it and many other aircraft. But whether it will ever call Tucson home is still not certain, in part because of noise. Although there's some dispute about it, it is said that the F-35 is 8 times louder than the A-10. There are 8,000 Midtown homes in the DM flight path. Residents say they can tolerate the quieter A-10, but other jets, like the F-16, which occasionally flies over, stops conversations in mid-sentence. Television viewing is impossible.
It doesn't even mention the F-35.
The F-35, they say, would make things worse. So they're making some noise of their own.
And if the F-35s come to town, we will move. There's no doubt about that. A lot of our neighbors will move also. All of these very nice middle-class neighborhoods will turn into noise ghettos.
But when it comes to missions stationed at DM, Tucson will not likely be able to pick and choose.
If the Pentagon's looking around the country saying, what bases should we keep and what bases do we get rid of, and we have one community saying, we'd like this base to stay open if this mission is here, but we don't want this other mission here, that creates a bit of a liability for us.
To me, the F-35 is the future in terms of fighter jet capability, and we really have to make a space for it here.
But that's not certain or agreed upon either.
We are looking at other options for the use of Davis-Monthan. In every way, DM is a desirable base to have, and we are also looking at other missions.
What about drones? Might that be a possibility?
I think DM is a perfect place for drones.
DM's impact is felt mountain to mountain. Its economic footprint is estimated to be $1.5 billion. There are nearly 20,000 employees on base, and many more do business throughout the valley.
If Davis-Monthan is closed, ever closed, the ripple effect through this community in terms of resident population, in terms of the businesses that benefit directly and indirectly from doing business with Davis-Monthan will be profound.
That profound economic impact will certainly hold sway over the decision to close the base or not to close it, whether missions may work here or not. But the decision, what comes next, will not likely be made in Tucson.
And I think it's rather short-sighted to be worried about, frankly, the sound of freedom.
We have also posted on our website, TucsonNewsNow.com, more in-depth interviews and other information about the A-10 and its loss here. For the time being, we certainly know that things will change on Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, but how they will change and how they will affect our community are being debated right now. At DM, I'm Bud Foster, KOLD News 13 Live, Local 8 Breaking.